Good morning, students. Welcome to Excel in English. And today we will study the poem My Mother at 66. Let's talk about the poet. About the poetess of the poem. Poem My Mother at 66 is composed by Kamala Das, an Indian poetess. She is known as one of the foremost and renowned poetess of India. Kamala Das published many novels and short stories in English and Malayalam. My Mother at 66 is one of the example of her sensitive poems. Next, we have introduction to the poem. In this poem, the poetess Kamala Das beautifully highlights the complexities of human relationship, and this poem is one of the best example of human bonding. Poet Kamala Das describes her painful feelings of fear of losing her mother. She is very much worried about her aging mother. She fears that she will not see her mother again. Mainly, this poem is about the human relationship. Okay, and the theme of the poem is aging. Aging, which is the law of nature. It also depicts the helplessness and aspirations of the young generation. It portrays the different stages of life and how everybody grows old and faces various situations that life throws at them. Okay, so aging is the theme of the poem, and aging, which is the law of nature. Okay, now let's see the summary of the poem. The poetess describes about her mother. She expresses her own personal experience about her aging and old mother. She says that her mother is 66 years old. So it was on Friday morning and the poet was returning from her parents' home and was going to the Cochin airport. Poetess was driving a car and her mother was sitting beside her. On the way while driving the car, she turned to look at her mother and she noticed that her mouth was wide open and she was dozing. Her face was as pale as that of a dead person. It was looking lifeless. A painful thought came in her mind. She realized that her mother was not going to live long. But soon she diverted the mind and put that painful thought away. She looked outside the car. She saw that the young trees by the road, which seems to be running fast. And she saw the young children running out of their houses in a joy to play. When she reached the airport, the poetess went through the security check. Her mother was standing a few yards away, and after security check, the poetess again looked at her mother, old mother. The face was looking pale and dull like the moon in a late winter season. The poetess felt that and surrounded by the same old fear which she used to feel in her childhood. She had the fear of losing her mother, separation from her mother. She thought that it would not be possible to see her mother next time, and she also thought this was the last time to see her mother alive. But the poetess tried to overcome from the feeling of sadness and the feeling she wanted to speak something to her mother, but because of the sadness, she could not speak very much. Instead of speaking to her mother, she smiled at her mother. She spoke no word to her mother. She only said, "See you soon, Amma." She wanted to say, soon she would see her again. Actually, the children poetess had a deep attachment with her mother, deep attachment. Although she had tears in her eyes, but she tried to hide her sorrowful tears and worried to give her mother an assurance, and she wanted to give her mother an assurance to be with her again. She did not want to lose her mother. She did not like the separation from her mother. Okay, now let's see the explanation of the poem. Stanza 1. Driving from my parents' home to Cochin last Friday morning, I saw my mother beside me, doors open, mouth, her face ashen like that of a corpse. Realized with the pain that she wasn't as old as she looked. Children, in the first stanza, the poetess Kamla Das is describing about her old mother. The poetess remembered the day when driving her car, she was going to Cochin Airport. Her mother was sitting beside her in the car. The mother was going to see of the poetess, but on the way, when the poetess turned to look at her mother, she was dozing, she was sleeping, she was taking a small nap, and her mouth was open, and her face was seeming as pale as a corpse. Corpse means a dead person, a dead body. Suddenly, a painful and a sorrow thought came in her mind of poetess. She realized that her mother has grown very old and she's not going to live long. So this is the explanation of the first stanza. I hope it's clear to you. Next, stanza 2. But soon put that thought away and looked out at a young tree sprinting, the married children spilling out of their homes. But after the airport security check, standing a few yards away, I looked again at her. Her here refers to mother, her mother, the poetess mother. The poetess immediately put that painful thought away from her mind, and from the window of the car, she looked out at the young tree alongside the road, which seems running very fast. And she also looked happily children who were coming and running out from their houses in a large number, means the youth. Finally, the poetess reached the airport and she had to go through the security check there. Her mother was standing a few yards away from her, and at that point, once again, she looked at her mother. Children, it must be remembered that while coming in the car, the poetess and her mother did not speak a single word to each other. Okay, and still she was staring at her mother from a distance. It is a thoughtful fact that what kind of attitude the modern youth have towards their old aged beloved ones. Okay, I hope the stanza 2 is also clear to you. And if you have any query, please send your questions in the comment section. I will just answer it as soon as possible. Stanza 3. One pale as the late winter moon and felt that old familiar echo. My childhood fear, but all I said was, see you soon, Amma. And all I did was smile, smile, and smile. After security check, the poetess looked at her mother, who was standing a few yards away from her. She was looking weak and pale. Her face was looking just like a yellowing moon of the late winter season. The poetess felt some old familiar pains and fear. It was same as she had felt in her childhood, but she could not speak a single word to her mother. The only words she could speak were, see you soon, Amma. And she, means the poetess, smiled, smiled, and smiled. These words highlight that the youth of modern time have a deep sympathy to their old aged beloved ones, but they are unable to express their sympathy properly. And this is a reality of life. Difficult words and their meanings. Let's take the difficult words meaning. Beside means alongside or next to. Doze means a nap or a sleeping. Ashen means pale or colorless. Corpse means a dead body. Merry means happy and cheerful. Spilling means let out. Sprinting means moving fast. Wan means dim, weak. Pale means dull, colorless. Ashen means continuous feeling of. Children, I hope that the poem is clear to you. And if you like the video, please share it and subscribe it. And if you have any query, please do comment. I will answer it. Thank you, student, for watching. Please do like, share, and subscribe.